Here's some conspiracy theory for you. Somebody said, Bill, he wrote, they are watching. And I got trashed for talking about conspiracy theory. I've been trashed for talking about those automated checkout lines in the grocery store and saying that I'm paranoid and I'm afraid of technology and all this technology is just going to help my life and make my life more easier. And why don't you trust these big fucking corporations, basically. It's the shit that people are giving me. So after getting trashed for all, talking shit about all these corporations and actually having the audacity to think that bankers were all trying to team up and have one world bank, to become the loan sharks for not only individual, but actual countries. Okay? Which is something that I was thinking about when I was at the Rose Bowl, stone sober. And I was sitting there on the golf course, and I was looking at these houses up on the ridge of this hill that actually looked down on the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. These people have a house that looks down on it. And I was actually envisioning that those were all bankers up there. And while the game was going on, and 104,000 people, or 96,000, whoever showed up for that game, were sitting there going fucking crazy. One of those piece of shit bankers up there could put his hand on his son's shoulder and be like, see all those people down there? They owe all of us money. They all owe me money, son. I'm getting a piece of all of their fucking paychecks. And they don't even know it. They don't even know that their daddy is looking down on them right now. Now, had I been drinking, that thought would have probably caused me to, entertain the thought of climbing up that hill and throwing a rock through one of the windows, which, of course, I wouldn't have done because even my drunkest, I am aware that I don't want to go to jail and get raped. And secondly, I'm not going to go all the way up that fucking hill. So what I would have done is I probably would have yelled at that kid with the light purple slacks. I would have commented really loud about that dude's fucking eczema flaking off into the back of his goddamn sweatshirt. So anyways, this guy sends me this email, and he says, Bill, the theys in this blog, when I say they are watching, are big business, not the Illuminati, but they are just as evil as any bank or secret society. They don't even need your signature. Listen to this shit. They don't even need your signature for these information gathering traderware programs to monitor everything from where the device is to what your heart rate is. What is traderware? That's the question I had. Your digital camera may embed metadata into photographs with camera's serial number or your location. Your printer may be incorporating a secret code on every page it prints, which could be used to identify the printer and potentially the person who used it. Now the fucking morons, the sheep out there would be like, yeah, that's in case you threaten the president. They're just doing it for the good of all people. If Apple puts a particularly creepy patent, I guess Apple's applying for this. Is it recently applied for the use you can look forward to a day when your iPhone may record your voice, take a picture of your location, record your heartbeat, and send that information back to the mothership. This is traderware, devices that act behind your back and betray your privacy. Now, this is what the moron sheep are going to be to say. Well, if you ain't doing nothing wrong, what's the problem? That's the philosophy. That was the philosophy behind why they can record your phone calls now. If you ain't doing nothing, taste of you. Come on, frogs. If you ain't doing nothing wrong. Do you realize how fucking dumb that mindset is? So basically, as long as you do what the people in power tell you what to do, you won't have a problem. Do you understand how dangerous that is? Do you understand how fucking stupid it is to have that level of faith in the people who rule you? You know what I mean? Hey, you haven't noticed how much power can fuck somebody over? Like, for some reason, we only seem to focus on when celebrities get famous and then they wig out and start becoming these fucking mini tyrants. For some reason, people don't feel they just have like this because they wave the flag and they play those songs that make you choked up, that they never feel like that they'll have any sort of ulterior motive for this. This is the type of technology that allows a small group of people to take over the world. Something that sociopaths have been trying to do since the beginning of time. And they were never able to do it because at some point your army would be stretched too thin. Right? The Germans, the fucking Roman Empire, all that shit. At some point, the fucking Japanese, all of them. Everybody who's ever tried to fucking do it, at some point, it gets stretched too thin. So America, what we've done is we've done the we're putting this base here to protect you thing, that brilliant thing. That's how we got our world empire. So we just have a base. Then also we have these insane weapons where we can nuke everybody. So we were able to kind of do it that way. But the problem is when you really get into sociopathic thought and just like those people who are so into power that it makes their dick hard, is they want to know, they want to be able to see everybody, know what they're thinking, and know what they're doing at all times. Because not only are they psychos, but with that level of power becomes this unbelievable level of paranoia. Like those people with those houses sitting on the ridge looking down into the Rose Bowl. There's a fear. Like we sit there looking up at them, go, look, they got the fucking world. There is a fear of when you attain that level of wealth of losing all of it. And you begin on this quest to quiet your mind. You want to get a level of wealth and control in your life that you are guaranteed that it will never go away in your lifetime or your kid's lifetime or your kid's kids. So basically everybody that you know and love will be okay and you will be okay. You get into that psychotic fucking mindset. And you give those kinds of people this level of fucking technology and you're going to have a problem. I think that's unbelievable that this shit is. So they have this website here, the EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation, that is trying to fight these things being put into the tech, the cameras, the cell phones and all that shit. Like the fact that there's a tracking device in your cell phone. Like how come we didn't get to vote on that? How come we don't get to vote on that type of stuff? I don't want people knowing where the fuck I am at all goddamn times. Okay? And I don't need you to show me, oh, we caught this fucking child molester with that. So because of that, now everybody has to be like, give me a fucking break. They always have like, there's, a handful of good examples for that level of fucking control. And then there's a zillion bad ones. So I am 100% against this shit. And there's always been evil people in the fucking world. There's always going to be evil fucking people in the world. And when you have this kind of technology, you're gonna stop. They're gonna stop small evil, like individual, a fucking serial rapist, which you definitely want to stop. All right. But the price we're going to pay is you're going to allow a Stalin or a Hitler, Pol Pot, whoever the fuck you want to, you're going to, with that level of technology, someone like that could get in power and run the fucking world. So, I don't know. And I totally 100% believe that. You could roll all your fucking eyes all you want. I honestly believe that. And I also believe that the reason why there's so many of us right now and that the people at the top are not fucking concerned about it is because we're all expendable. And when the waters rise up, the temperatures goes up and everything, they're not going to be the ones who are drowning. You can guarantee that they're using our taxpayer money to build some sort of something to make sure that they're okay. And I think that their bailout plan, because they know they can't stop people from fucking because it feels too goddamn good, and dicks and pussies are readily available to anyone. It's like air, So I think what they're going to gradually do is phase us out with robots and automated shit, which is why I refuse to use it. Now, how fucking crazy do I sound right now? Has there been anything funny in the last fucking 5? This is shit that I truly believe. Corporations own like the DNA of a grizzly bear. That's why they don't give a fuck that they're cutting down its habitat. They're like, I will fucking grow another one in a petri dish. We're trying to take over everything. And then wipe out, I think they're going to try to wipe out the poor and the middle class. Keep a couple of us, like a small handful of us, the way that pandas are only in like zoos at this point or some shit. I don't know. Maybe I picked the wrong fucking animal, but that's the direction I think it's going. All right? There's your first crazy rant, which was based mainly in gut feelings and a couple of emails. But I truly believe that.
A couple people go, hey, you know, we're going to Cheetah's strip club. You want to go? And I have not been to a titty bar in like fucking, shit, why did I say the name of it? Because now I'm going to trash the place. I haven't been to a titty bar in like, I would say maybe 7 years. They're stupid. You go in there, you get all fucking excited, and then nothing happens, and then you leave, and you don't have any money. It's the dumbest fucking thing you could ever do. There's always a bunch of fat white dudes in there on some business trip smoking cigars, trying to act like they're fucking running shit, and they're not. I don't like them, you know? We'll figure what the fuck, I'll go. Everybody's going to go. Yeah, let's fucking go. We went there. Bored shitless. Bored shitless. You know what the most exciting thing was about when I went to that fucking strip club? Was one of the people I was hanging out with, I found out was actually a banker. All right? And I know you guys think I'm out of my mind. You're always going, oh, you fucking conspiracy theory, whack job. I hit this guy with every fucking thing that I think of, I know about banks, and he just kept nodding, going, you're right. You're right, absolutely. You're right. I fucking told him that whole thing about how, you know, I had the water damage on my house, and the check from my insurance company came, made out to me, Nia, and my fucking mortgage company. You know? And I'm like, those motherfuckers don't think I'm going to pay off the house. And they go, no, they don't. I go, that's right. They think that it's going to take me 30 fucking years, and by the time that, I'll be in my 70s, and by then one of my kidneys will fail, at which point my health insurance won't kick in. So I'll have to sell the house. They'll get another 30-year-old in there, and they'll bend him over the fucking rail for 60. And he was going, you're absolutely right. Absolutely fucking right. And I was like, so how do you fucking do it? He goes, I don't fuck over individuals. He goes, I fuck over businesses. See, that's how it works. You know? I didn't make the call. I was just following orders. It's the same shit those Nazi fucking people said when they were up in the guard towers. When they were fighting for fucking Hitler. It's the exact same fucking thing. They justify it in their head that I'm not, you know, even though I'm part of this evil fucking thing, I'm just doing this one little thing here, you know? And I just kept hammering him, going, dude, you know, but you're helping to push the rock up the hill. And he goes, and he just started laughing, going, Jesus Christ, you know, I'm trying to fucking enjoy myself here. And then I actually felt bad on some level. I went all the way up to the Federal Reserve, and the banker looked at me. He said, the only thing federal, he said, the Federal Reserve is as federal as Federal Express. He goes, they're evil. And I was just like, well, how the fuck are you in that business? You know? And at that point, we were a little bit drunk, and he's just like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? He said the bankers just sit there, and they're like, my job is to make fucking money. That is my job. He proceeded to tell me that the bank he works for somehow in 3 months made $6 billion. He's like, how is that fucking possible? Legally, I don't think it is. Or maybe it is. You know, when everybody goes to work all week and then just gives you their money. That's one of the greatest fucking scams ever. Do you realize we all work all fucking week? They give you a piece of paper with numbers on it. They never give you the money. They just give you a piece of paper that has numbers on it. Then you take that piece of paper and you give it to some of the most crooked fucks ever to keep it safe. It's like every American, everybody on the planet, you get mugged every week. And you don't even realize it. You're not even getting mugged because you're turning it over. You fucking hand it to those assholes. The money you earned, the money I earned. Then they take that money, they loan it back to us at fucking interest, and then they like invent more money that isn't even there off of the money that we put in there. They legally counterfeit money. Like if they get a deposit at $10,000, they can legally loan out $10,000, $10,000 to like 4 or 5 different people. 10,000 for you, 10,000 for you, 10 for you, 10 for you. When there's only 10,000, they just invented another $30,000 that isn't even there. And that's what the fuck happens. Because then when those fuckers don't pay that off, the $10,000, all of a sudden, now like $20,000 off of $10,000 isn't fucking paid off. I think you guys are smart enough to do the math. I swear to God, I really wish I recorded the conversation when he just kept going, you're right. And all the fucking people, Anthony Cumia from the wonderful Opie and Anthony program, who laughs and shakes his head at me, I was really wishing he was there, and every cunt that ever called me a fucking conspiracy theorist, like I fucking believe that the moon is made out of cheese, like that's what I'm telling you. Right? Like I'm saying the sun is actually a camera in the sky by the fucking Illuminati. I never said any shit like that. All right, I said a couple of crazy ones. My fucking banker ones. Evidently, this guy who was drunk in a titty bar told me that I was right. And none of you guys were there, and I don't have the audio to prove it. But I'll go fuck you. You know what I sound right? This is like the verbal version of that chick standing in the street. I should have on that lime green hat, just fucking miming, jerking my own dick off. Am I really any better than that Frisbee horde cunt? She's not a cunt. She's not a whore either. You know what? You know something? I'm going to reserve judgment because I have no fucking idea. When you really think about it, you really can't tell who somebody is just from a goddamn video. All right, shut the fuck up, Bill. So do you know this weekend I went out and I did a show at the Spotlight 29 Casino with Let There Be Talks, Dean Del Rey of the Let There Be Talk podcast, and Joe Bartnick, Rose Bowl legend and host of the Puck Off podcast. And are the peas popping? I got to turn this fucking volume down here. Anyways, we went out there. We had a great time, but we were on our way out there, and we were on the highway. And I'm thinking, all right, there's fucking 3 of us here. We can use the carpool lane. And recently, I've been getting these tickets for riding. I don't know what, going through tolls and not paying. And I'm like, where the hell was that? And there's pictures of my car and shit, and I'm on the highway. I had no idea what it was. And I was riding out with those guys, and they finally explained what it was. They said that a private group bought up a section of the highway out here in Los Angeles, and they own it. And when you use it, you got to pay them money. You got to give them toll money and all that type of shit. And that was really scary to me. Because if they were going to do that, why wouldn't the state just do it? Why wouldn't they just say, well, fuck it, we'll just do it, and we'll collect that money? God knows we could use it, right? But instead, they sold it off to somebody. So what that says to me is this state is so fucking bankrupt, they don't even have time to just collect money on roads that they already own. They have to sell off like a giant section of a highway. Who's that group that owns the giant section of the highway, and how the fuck do I get involved in that business? I'll parachute right out of here. I'll do like fucking a podcast 7 days a goddamn week. I'll never go on the road again. Won't tell any jokes. And you guys can just listen to me slowly slip into madness. Do you realize how that's one of the greatest investments of all time? I own a strip of, I own 5 miles of a fucking highway outside one of the most populated cities ever, where there's no public transportation for the most part. Everybody's in a car. And every time they go out through that fucking thing, ding, 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 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents. And I'm sitting here on my fucking couch, just sitting here, a bag of pretzels and a fucking Miller High Life, right? Just sitting here, 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents. It's the greatest fucking thing ever. Oh, and I know you think, oh, dude, what about the overhead? What about it? It's already fucking made. When do you have to pave it? Once every 4 or 5 years? If that? I remember back in the day, the Mass Pike. The whole time I was there, they paved that thing one time. I don't know what it is. Whatever, man. Who gives a how much could that well, shit, that could cost a lot of money. Wait a minute. I know if you do any sort of driveway, they always come in, oh, it's going to be about 20 grand. Is it? All right, more like 3. That could get expensive. I guess that could get expensive. But, dude, I'm telling you, that is the move. If you can somehow get in with the people that are going to start buying up the fucking roads over here. And, oh, Jesus Christ. I would be such an obnoxious ass if I was making money like that. I'd start wearing wife beaters, and I'd have a fucking gold piece hanging around my neck that just said 45 cents. 45 cents, 45 cents, 45 cents. Right? I'd slowly just go fucking nuts thinking about it. Being like that guy, pick up the papers, pick up the papers. Hey, Bill, what do you want for lunch? Let me get a roast beef sandwich. 45 cents, 45 cents. Yeah, he's a little weird. He's a little weird. But don't worry, dude. He's fucking paying for the whole lunch. You know, he just kind of repeats himself a little bit. So whoever did that, good on you. And whoever has been in office out here in California, fuck you, you spineless cunt. All of you. How the fuck do you go bankrupt as a goddamn state? Everybody going to work every day. You want to talk about 45 cents, 45 cents. These motherfuckers are getting money from everybody. You're getting free money. Free money. Taxes. Free money. Hey, I'm going to go buy a fucking chapeau. Put it on my big, stupid, round head. All right, that'll be $8. Plus fucking, whatever. 80 cents tax. There you go. You didn't have to do a fucking thing, state government, did you? All you had to do is sit around and wait for me to go out and go buy a fucking hat. Free money. Here you go, here you go, here you go. Coming in. Big pile of fucking loot, and then you blow all of it. How do you go bankrupt as a state? Jesus fucking Christ. Unbelievable. I don't even want to hear your fucking excuses. Well, picture that little stretch of 5 Mile Hotel. I mean, of highway. I mean, you got fucking, the highway goes, from San Diego all the way up. Oh, go fuck yourself. You know what's in there? Around all those highways? A zillion fucking people, all giving you money. Every time they go out to go buy themselves, some condoms and a pair of socks, you're fucking making money. You got plenty of goddamn money, but this is what happens. All right? The fucking public servants, the people who hold office, they don't make any money. They make no fucking money. I don't know what a senator makes. I know the president makes $400,000 a fucking year, okay? So if you're governor of Los Angeles, what are you taking down a year? What, $100,000? $100,000 to have everybody in the fucking city say that you're a piece of shit, you're fucking everything up, right? You got to have security so nobody comes up and fucking shanks you every time you go out to go get a club sandwich. And not to mention it costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to campaign to get that fucking job. And in the end, all you get is $100,000. Those guys, they are set up to be bribed. I 100% believe this shit. So basically, you're going for a job that's going to get you $100,000, and you need millions and millions of dollars to fucking get the thing. So now you got to get in bed with all these fat cats that can fucking buy up the goddamn highways, and that's what they do, right? Tell you what, I'll finance you. Listen to me. Hey, fucking shut up. I'm going to fucking... What do you need? How much money do you need for this, huh? 8, 7, 9 million? What the fuck do you need, all right? Hey, 20, 40, 60, yeah, you fucking keep it, all right? But, all right, you in return, you got to give me 10 miles of the fucking 10. Or the 5. Let me get the 5. All the fucking hippies driving up to San Francisco. Let me get 10 miles of that. I'm not finished. Let me get 10 miles of that. And let's make it a no-fly zone over Disneyland. whatever the fuck they want, right? Then that's what happens. Or whatever. You know what? I'm going to do this job. I'm going to repay. I'm going to be the guy who fucking repaves it. I'm going to donate $2 million to your fucking campaign so you can get this job that makes $100,000 a fucking year. And maybe eventually get to the White House so you get that Marilyn Monroe side pussy. And then you get to go on the fucking golden parachute, $1 million a speech fucking gig after you retire. And in the meantime, I want the contract to do this job for the state, and I'm going to charge you fucking $9 million for a hammer, as the old fucking urban legend goes. And that's how you go fucking bankrupt. There you go. Look at that. Dummy like me. That's my theory. Anyways, this is the Monday Morning Podcast, as I mentioned. That was a good 10 minutes of horseshit.
And that is it. Bill, bit of a dilemma here for you. I'm an 18-year-old male who's about to graduate from high school. Congratulations. Over the past few years, I've been told I'm a really good dancer. Not ballet or artsy stuff, but just good dance floor dancing. Oh, my God, I'm going to take over the dance floor. Hey, Angie, watch me. You're John Travolta. This is great. Do you go out to the Staten Island Bridge and do headstands with your buddy Bobby? Huh? You know, if he didn't have an afro, he never would have fell off that bridge. If he had it high and tight like all these Armenians out here. Every Armenian looks like they know MMA. When was the last time you saw an Armenian dude in his 20s or 30s and he did not look like he could put you in an arm bar within 2 seconds if he wanted to? If I was Dana White and I was running the UFC at this point, they're up to like UFC 2006. You know, they've run out of adjectives. This time it's really, really personal, right? Not saying I'm not a fan. I'm a huge fucking fan. I'm just saying, you know, the way they have those things like every other week. There's only so many redemption. I mean, you're running out of words. I'm such a fucking idiot. This is what I would do if I was Dana White. At some point, I would have, you know what? This is what I would branch off. Remember when they had those tough man competitions, and they would have just people coming in throwing haymakers, which is some of the best boxing ever. Is when you watch people who just aren't trained whatsoever, and they just start, because somebody's going to connect, right? I think that they should have 1 week. They should have the Armenians versus the Russians tough man competition, because I really think that needs to be decided who is the tougher of the two. Because when it comes to white people, that's who I got my money on. All right, those are the Crips and the Bloods of white people, is the Armenians and the Russians. All of them, they just have that vibe. There's something you just like. Yeah, I'm not fucking with that guy. I'm really not doing it. Anyways, not a ballet or artsy stuff, but just ballroom dancing. I'm fucking dancing over here. I kind of think dancing is gay from an outside point of view. It isn't. It really isn't. That's just how white people look at it. It's considered gay because it involves like letting yourself go and actually admitting that you have emotions. As a man, as a white male, it is. It's considered gay. As is crying, as is showing any sort of emotion, as is not dying for no good goddamn reason before you're 56. Or not dying, I should say. If you live to be 60, I believe amongst white men, that's also considered gay, because that means at some point you cried something out of your chest and you didn't have a heart attack. Anyways, he says, I think dancing is gay from an outside point of view, but I'll be the first one to admit that I'm actually a pretty good dancer. If I didn't think so, I wouldn't be out there doing it. Yeah, but dude, you got to be getting some... All fucking women love a guy who can dance. Dude, if you can dance and you're wearing like a silk scarf, it's fucking over. It's going to be raining pussy. As far as my outside view, my freckled view from over in the bar, trying to stand out from underneath those hot lights so I don't get burned. Redheads, we're the closest thing to vampires. We have none of the powers of vampires, but the sun affects us the same way. A friend of mine who's a female dancer keeps telling me I could make money doing it on commercials or music videos.
parentheses, clothes on. Or you could go to fucking Broadway and be like one of the 5 straight men who dances on Broadway and just tag every fucking lonely chick out there who's all stretched out. Just make sure you keep their shoes on. Dancers' feet are always fucked up. Here's where it gets complicated. I plan on becoming a policeman. Oh, dude, this is a no-brainer. You need to dance at bachelorette parties dressed as a cop. All you need, dude, is that a fake uniform and a boombox, and you're on your way to making money. Dude, you should fucking do that in a second. And then you write a book about it. I was a gyrating cop for bachelorette parties. And you write a tell-all book about how many fucking broads who about ready to get married sucked your dick. You really need help on this one? I mean, I'm going to read the rest of it, but I think I've already come with the solution. Anyways, how is anyone supposed to take me seriously on the force if there's a video going with me pop and locking next to Lil Wayne? At the same time, oh, dude, you should fucking pull people over. You should pull people over and fucking moonwalk up to their car and just freak them out. Even if they were reaching for a gun, they'd be laughing too hard and they wouldn't shoot you. Then you could arrest them, and then you move up. Next thing you know, you're a commissioner. Right? Nothing? Anyways, at the same time, I'm getting laid a lot because of it. Of course you are. I'm a 7 on a scale of 10. I like this guy. He's honest. And and like having a jump shot, it's put me up to an 8.5. I'm banging 10s. I've always wanted to be a cop, but the perks here seem better if I was able to make money doing it. Oh, and the dancing thing. I wouldn't just be getting Hummers for letting gross moms off on speeding tickets. I could be banging J-Lo. She's into dancers, right? Thanks. Yeah, dude, abso-fucking-lutely. Dude, you're basically saying, what should I do here? Should I bang J-Lo's, be down at the club and make all this fucking money? Or should I take a job where I'm going to get shot at and not be appreciated? You know, I'll tell you, every cop out there would dance if they could, as opposed to being a cop. I don't care if they're like 7 generations in. Dude, this is what I think of as far as like dancing. I think if I like compare it to being a comedian, the open mics would be getting a piece of cardboard and being on a subway platform, making money that way. And then when you move up to hosting a show, that would be you dress as a cop and you fucking dance at bachelorette parties. That's what you do on the side. That's like your fucking day job. That bullshit. And then during the day, I would try out for those do they make music videos anymore? Or fucking, I don't know. Believe it or not, I don't know how to climb the ladder as a dancer. But, dude, abso-fucking-lutely. If you can make money doing that shit, and then what the great thing is once you get to a certain level to make more money, you know, once you got some credibility, you always have the fallback where you can teach a class. You can be like, I danced for 9 years in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and fucking banged every fucking broad on there. And if you'd like to know how to fuck the women in your cast while still not losing your job, come on down to Frankie's fucking dance studio, whatever. Just, you'll figure it out as you go in there. And, yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I would definitely do it. You want to do it, or you wouldn't have taken the time to write in. So your big fear should be whatever everybody's big fear is. Like, what if I fucking go after this dream and I'm 30 and I'm sleeping on a fucking futon and it hasn't happened yet? Well, I got to tell you something, sir. I've been there. I was there at fucking 34. I was still sleeping on a futon in a fucking studio apartment that they called a one-bedroom because they slammed a fucking wall in there and put a door on it. And then one day I was trying to bang the girl upstairs who had the fucking apartment right above me, and it was the exact same unit, and hers was a studio, but she had been there longer, so they never slammed a wall in there. And I realized, hey, wait a minute, I'm getting fucked. You know? I should go down there and try to get some money taken off of this. I should go down to the they're fucking me over rental board, but I didn't. I said, fuck it. Just keep writing jokes. Right? So whatever. All you got to do, you just got to commit to this shit. And then realize that, you know, sleeping on a futon when you're 30 is not the worst thing. It isn't. You know what's worse than sleeping on a futon at 30? Sleeping in a king bed next to a fucking woman you're not really in love with, but for some reason married, and you got a couple of kids, and you got a job that you fucking hate. Okay, you'll be laying there fantasizing about fucking sleeping on on a futon. There's no risk when you go after a dream. It's all fucking reward. It's all going to lead to something good. It always does. There's a tremendous amount of risk to playing it safe. And that leads to unbelievable levels of regret, which is something else I've also experienced because I'm an old motherfucker.
Do you remember doing Dangerfields?
Dude, I was at Dangerfields the last time Rodney went on stage. I was on the show he was on. It was incredible, man.
Are you serious?
I came in, it was a Saturday night. I mean, he died like about a month after that. And Tony, who runs the place, it was packed because it's Bridge and Tunnel Saturday night. Mm-hmm. Mike Britt is emceeing, and he goes...
Mike Britt's a beast.
Beast. So funny. So funny. And Tony goes, listen, Rodney's in the crowd. A lot of people don't know it. He's sitting with his wife right up front in his robe. And he's going to come on after you, Pete. And, you know, he liked the guy. He didn't even really... He was very old, you know, so it wasn't going to be much of anything. So I'm going to do 15 minutes in front of Rodney. The guy's like going to die any day. I try to do every joke I ever written in 15 minutes. Like he might pop up, shake my hand, and go, let me make a few phone calls for you. The guy didn't even know he was indoors, Billy. And I'm rattling off all my... Right, so I get off. I stand off to the side, and Mike Britt introduces Rodney. Place goes crazy, okay? Rodney gets up. He's walking so slow. It's like from here to the wall, and it takes him like 20 minutes, 5 solid minutes with his wife helping him. The people even stopped clapping, so I started clapping so they'd keep the clap. I mean, keep the clap going.
Right.
He grabs the mic, and in perfect Rodney voice, if you close your eyes, he grabs the mic, and about Mike Britt, he goes, how about another round of applause for the Moon Yan, huh? Mike Britt starts cracking up too, and then he puts his arm around Mike Britt. He does about a minute and a half, some joke. It was very funny and worked, and then he shuffled off, and then he passed away in about a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't meet him or shake his hand or anything because he was back in the crowd, and I had to get back down to the cellar.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing about Dangerfields, now, when we came to New York, that club was like, it was in a bad place, where it was just like, they had comics that had been working there since the fucking place had opened, I went in there one night, dude, and that was one of those nights where I felt like quitting comedy. I watched this, I'm not going to say this comic's name, but I saw this guy on stage, and it was the most bleakest, darkest, like the negativity that was hanging in the fucking air. And then what happened was Jim Norton. Yes, you just said his name. Yes. Yes. Oh my God, dude. Like I watched 3 minutes of that guy's set, and if there was a gun in the room, I would have had it in my mouth. I would have shot him first, just out of just humanity.
Yeah.
How fucking bleak this guy was. So
yeah, that's the kind of guy you want to play in a movie to win your Oscar, an independent film playing that guy. What are you going home to? What are you doing when you get home, man? Right?
And he was sitting in there, and like, dude, I'm not lying. I love Dangerfields, but the reverb on that mic was fucked up for like 7 years straight. Nobody adjusted it. And you know what was the worst is if you did like a high energy bit and there was nobody in there, that fucking echo, you know, which sounds great on like a Dean Martin album, like fills out his voice. But if you're fucking doing like singing, I mean, I'm doing jokes, you're eating your balls. But Norton was the guy that first started doing it.
Yes. You guys got to go there. You get to do a half hour. You get $25.
Norton single-handedly, I think, saved that place because he got us all to go there. I remember everybody was giving him shit. I remember Patrice, rest his soul, goes, he goes, where are you coming from, Norton? He goes, Dangerfield? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, who'd you go on after? Ruth Buzzy? and everybody's dying laughing. And Norton defended it, though. He was going, dude, you got to go up there. So I was living on the Upper East Side like you, and you and I started doing it. Yeah. And then I remember Sherrod came in, and then there was this great thing. It just all of a sudden just fucking turned around.
Yeah,
all of those older guys took off and left. And but what was weird was that, you know, and as cool as the decor remained the exact same. Like if you're into like shit from back in the day, you got to go to Dangerfields. I mean, it literally looks like you feel like Johnny Carson is going to come walking in when he still had like jet black hair or brown hair and shit. Like when you're sitting there with those little fucking, those little lampshades and stuff.
Yeah, and everybody writes their initials on the lampshades. And it's literally like a lounge in Vegas from 1970. They only have male waiters, and the waiters all still wear the red jackets.
Career waiters, too.
Yeah. And it's just a you know, I mean, the photos on the wall when you first come in, because like Billy Joel did a song for Easy Money for Rodney's movie, so there's a photo of Billy Joel was there, and you know, Sinatra and all these great people there.
Elvis with Rodney.
But then the thing would happen after a while, Bill, is I would play there, and then I'd be back at the cellar, and, you know, sometimes in between spots, everyone sits around, chats, and I'm running out, and no one's like, where you going? My guy, I got to Dangerfields. And he's like, wait, you still going to Dangerfields? Like, it stopped. And because it got to the point where it was $75, I live around the corner, and I'd be like, how can I not bop in and just get a quick 75, tell a few.
But the thing about me is I fucking love that place.
Sometimes, other times it would just literally, it's the only place I had a breakdown where I was like, you know, the only time where I was ever looking at the crowd like, did you just come here for fucking heat? Why are you even here?
Dude, I've seen some of one of the fucking most bizarre heckles I ever got, and one of the best heckles I ever saw. I saw in that room. All right, the one that happened to me, right? I'm fucking standing on stage, and there's just this group. I told this one time, I think on a special, or it was an extra or something. It was like 4 white dudes in the corner, dude, and you could feel the fucking anger coming off these guys. You could feel the fucking awful dads that beat them with belt buckles and shit. I've never felt an energy like that in my life. So I go on stage, and they're so fucking angry, and they're a little loud, being drunk, that they're intimidating the entire crowd. So I'm standing on stage bombing, and I know I'm bombing because those fucking guys, their energy. And everything in me is saying, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just fucking get through the shit. And then finally, I was just bombing so bad I had to say something. I was just saying like, hey, what are you guys talking about over there? They're like, what? I said, yeah, what are you guys talking about over there? And the guy yells out, he goes, anything red and on stage is a faggot. That's what he said, which I don't even know what the fuck that means. Like, it was just so fucking like childish, and I just, but dude, it was hilarious. And I'm sitting there going like, I went right back into my act, and I'm sitting there. Part of me is I'm furious. The other part of me is laughing my ass off because I can't wait to go down the cellar and tell the story. Dude, that's like saying anybody who's sitting over there has girl germs or cooties, like something in the 2nd grade. But it was still fucking hilarious, and I just eating my balls, and they did nothing about it.
Oh, forget
whatsoever.
No, they never will.
And I just sat there eating my balls. And got off stage, and I had to walk by the fucking table. It just, I don't know. They had that one, and then there was the guy.
But it makes you better, man. Somehow those make you better, man. It makes you.
I didn't mind that in a hell room, but there was always that thing where, like, if you're actually in a comedy club and they're not policing it at all, you're just like, all you give a fuck is that these people are eating and drinking.
Yeah.
And if they yell at me or throw shit at me, you don't give a fuck as long as they pay their check in the end. But the other time. I don't know how to do this joke because I don't want to say the guy's name because
I'm saying a name and I tell a Dangerfield's joke or story, but go ahead.
All right, so this actor/comedian goes on stage.
All right.
People are going to figure it out. I'm not going to say his name out of respect. So and he's one of the funniest comics I know. I'm going to say it, Frank Santarelli. He's one of the funniest guys ever.
Oh, with the cigarette? He does a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Fucking hilarious. One of my favorites of all time. So he's on stage, and it's just this fucking one of those summertime crowds where they're just fucking sitting there. And one of those things like, why the fuck did you people come out here?
Exactly.
So they're sitting there, and he goes up on stage, and he's on The Sopranos. He plays the bartender and everything. So he goes on stage, and they're just not having it. They're not listening. They're not laughing. And his shit is really, it's like Greer Barnes, where like he'll go into a bit, and it's like this 10-minute high-level concept thing, and they're not buying it. So finally, he's like 10 years older than me, so he's trying to reach out to this crowd because it's a young crowd. He goes, hey, man, he goes, you guys like The Sopranos? How you guys like The Sopranos? He goes, I play so-and-so. I play the bartender. Every week, Tony Soprano beats the shit out of me. And this guy in the back, without missing a beat, goes, he should have killed you. I don't even know to this day if Frank ever heard it. I was like, oh, my God, that's fucking hilarious. So... And I wanted to laugh my balls off, but I had to go on next. So I'm literally watching the beatdown that I'm going to take, right? It was like when your mother would line you all up and, to beat you or whatever, and you're like waiting, like, okay, this is good. Maybe she'll get tired by the time she gets to me, right?
She'll get a phone call or something.
Yeah, so he walked off stage. I remember he walked by me. It's still classic Frank, funny as hell, didn't say anything. He just walks by me, just doesn't look at me, just goes, wow. Wow. He said it twice. Wow. And just fucking...
That's all you can do with that place sometimes. I mean, Carrie Karavis used to be on stage there at night. We're doing prom shows. I used to do prom shows there.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's literally just go. If you can just go up there and stay up there for 10 minutes, you get your $50 or whatever it was. It was not about comedy. It wasn't about anything.
Oh, you'd have a better chance going to Port Authority and just with a Mr.
Absolutely.
Microphone. You'd get more laughs.
She would yell from the stage, because I'd be last, she'd be second to last. She'd yell from the stage, Corielli, I got 5 more minutes. How fucking jealous are you? Oh, and the crowd's
hilarious.
not even mad that she's bragging that she doesn't have to be in front of them in 5 more minutes.
Completely didn't get it.
And the club would latch on to the weirdest characters to be their like comic, like the comic of the, you know how like, you know, certain comics, like Attell's known for the Comedy Cellar, right? You know?
The 12 o'clock spot.
Yeah. So, like, I remember Dangerfields went through a phase where Steve Marshall was hosting all the shows, and he was their guy.
He's not there to behave.
Oh, yeah. I'm not here to behave. That's his
Right.
whole slogan. So he would do, it's so weird. He would do his last bit every show. He'd have a dozen roses, and he would slam each rose against the piano as he had a comment about women, like, and then you blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, you know, the show would end, and then when everyone left, he'd have to go back in and pick up his roses. Like, the club wouldn't even do it for him. And then, like, I remember in between shows sometimes, because there was a Korean deli where he'd get the roses, you know?
Right.
They're like, Steve, you're next. So-and-so's running late. And he'd go, I don't even have my roses yet. I didn't even go get my... And they go, well, hurry up and go get your roses. So he'd have to run to the Korean deli and get his fucking roses. Not to mention, that's half your paycheck in flowers, man, right?
Yeah, dude. And
Where are you going with that, dude? That's what... It doesn't have anyone
Guilty
in
as
his...
charged, dude. I remember I used to work in a dental office. I worked in a dental office with my dad when I started out, and we used to have, like, when we were really drilling into somebody's tooth, dude, it was gross, man. Shit would be flying out of the mouth. So you basically had this plastic. It looked like a welder's mask, but it was all plastic.
Yeah.
So all the spittle that would have hit your face is hitting it. Oh,
Sure.
God, it was a fucking disgusting job. So, I got the idea one night that I was going to put it on because I was so young. I was going to put it on stage or whatever, and I was going to. This was going to be my closing bit. So for like maybe 2.5 months of my stand-up career, I had this little duffel bag, and I would be bringing this stupid mask on stage. And the funniest thing was, I didn't even have a joke. I would just put it on, and I would just say, like, you know, my job during the day, you know what it's like working there? The job stinks so bad, I gotta wear this. And I would put it on, and they'd sort of chuckle, and they were like, and where does this go? And I would just have the thing on, and with the screen in front of me, like, muffling my voice, I'd be like, thanks a lot, you guys have been... as I'm taking it off. And finally, one day, I figured it out. I was talking to this comic, Todd Parker.
Yeah.
And
God, we come a long way. Holy shit, dude.
And I said to him, oh, yeah, I actually thought that was funny. So I talked to him. I said, you know, I'm not going to do that mask thing anymore. I remember he was sitting at the Kowloon with his arms crossed, looking forward, not looking at me. I go, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that mask thing anymore. And I was just like, and he just goes, oh, yeah? He's just looking at the stage. I go, yeah, I just feel like I'm just saying, like, I'm so not funny. I literally need to bring shit on stage to make myself funny. And he just sort of looked at me. He goes, yeah, you figured that out? And I remember my heart sinking, going like, oh, my God, every comic was thinking that. And I didn't even know the whole, he's a prop comic and all that shit that, you know, those guys go through. Which I don't give a fuck if you use props. It's just funny. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, that's a different thing. But, I mean, if you're a prop guy, you're a prop guy. If you just got roses, I mean, that's it. It's like...
You got to go all in.
That's what I'm saying.
You either got a bunch of props...
That's it.
Or absolutely nothing.
Vinny Favorino would have shut down the mask if you hadn't.
Yeah, no, he would have. He would have. He definitely would have. Don't sleep on Pete Corielli's new special. Let me tell you, it's streaming right now on show.com, SHO.com. Just click on comedy. He does an awesome podcast with Sebastian, who's one of the best comics out there. It's called The Pete and Sebastian Show on the Riotcast Network, which is www.riotcast.com. Your Twitter is myCorielli, CORREALE. Your website is www.petecorielli.com. Dating an ugly girl. Sorry about the clicking here, everybody. Dating an ugly girl. Hey, Bill, I just recently started listening to your podcast at work, and I got to say, great job, man. Thank you very much. You say some truly funny and inspiring stuff. Thank you. I wanted to ask for your advice on a troubling matter of mine. I recently started dating a girl that I met on an internet dating site. That's unreal. I wish that shit was around when I was fucking single. And I was a young man, had a full head of hair, right? Jesus Christ, that's like going to the supermarket just picking out fruit.
You know? Oh, Jesus Christ. If you're letting your ego get in the way of fucking doing that, you're out of your goddamn mind. Still going out paying a fucking cover charge. I guess there's the sport of that. You know, not having the gun cocked, walking around with the shotgun broken over your arm, right? Having your boy go flush him out of the fucking bushes. Every once in a while, though, wouldn't it be nice to fish in a stock pond? Anyways, he said we met on an internet dating site. We get along great. We got along great through emails, but when we met, I was surprised to see how ugly her face was and how slightly off she smelled. You know, I just did such a great commercial for why you should do internet dating, and now you've convinced me that I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, so what do you need advice at this point? She has an ugly face and smells bad. So what? Jesus. I just saw it's dating an ugly girl. Okay, well, I'm intrigued now. Well, what do you look like, sir? Are you a little off, and do you smell? Do your smells combine and actually smell like something good? Can that happen? Can two negatives make a positive in smells? I know they do in math. Needless to say, I was coming out of a dry spell. Also, she has a great body, so I put the moves on her. I never actually hesitated. You should have taken a fucking shower with her. That was the move right there. You should have taken a fucking shower with her and banged the doggy style. Jesus Christ, do I got to hold your hand over to the fucking water fountain? Anyways, he goes, so I put the moves on her. I never actually hesitated. I just went on being myself around her and talking to her, and now we're together. The sex is amazing. I fucking knew it. I knew the sex would be amazing because there's no other reason to stay with. If somebody's ugly and they smell, they better fuck the shit out of you, or, they better find a new career because their fuck game is over. Playoffs? No. Your season's over. You're playing for a first-round draft pick. All right, the sex is amazing. She has a pretty deep voice. Jesus Christ. This is like the Money Pit, except instead of a house, it's a woman. All right, she has a pretty deep voice for a lady, so when we bang, it's the only time she talks and acts like a woman. Dude, if you get to the end of this and this person has had a sex change operation, I'm not going to be surprised. Jesus Christ. Do I continue? Yeah, I got nothing better to do. Fuck it. And he goes, blah, 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 and we get along great. She's like the best friend I never had. Yeah, I'm sure. She'd probably fucking lift more weights than you, too. Seriously, we make each other laugh a lot, and we're always learning and growing intellectually with each other. My dilemma is this. I'm a pretty handsome guy, and when we go out together, people always stare, give us angry or confused looks. Oh, come on, man. That might be in your head. I think that a lot of that might be you being self-conscious. Confused look, like, why is this great-looking guy with this piece of dog meat? I don't know if that's your ego or you're dating the ugliest fucking thing ever. You said she's got a nice body. So, you know what I mean? Throws on a little makeup, does some shit with her hair. You know, maybe combs it in her face a little. Becomes 50% less. This is just getting meaner by the second. My dilemma is this. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I haven't introduced her to any of my friends and family yet because I'm afraid of what they'll think of me and how they will judge us behind our backs. Also, I don't want ugly kids, and that's pretty important to me. Oh, my God. Why are you with this person, sir? You're saying horrible things. She has an ugly face, she smells bad, and you think she's going to make ugly children. What the fuck? You know what it is? Your dick is still making the decisions in your life, sir. That's why you're still with this person. And secondly, just because you're good looking and you get with a good looking person, that doesn't mean you're going to have a good looking kid. All right? That's one of the fallacies out there. I can name a couple celebrity couples, drop dead gorgeous, had an average looking kid. Because you know what it is? It's not like you're beautiful and you're beautiful, so together you make beauty. No, it's you're combining your features. You know what I mean? There's a lot of average. I can tell you right now, more times than not, average-looking people have stunning kids. They have just as good a chance of making stunning kids. This is like that shit I was talking to you about like a few weeks ago, when I was talking about like when people give like Michael Jordan's kid shit because he's not as good as his dad at basketball. It's like, well, he's only half his dad. He's Michael Jordan cut with Michael Jordan's wife, okay? And if she has no leaping ability, okay, and can't even catch a beach ball underhanded, that's going to fuck with the son's ability to go to the rack, you know? So anyway, sir, I'll read the rest of this, but anyways, I don't want ugly kids, and that's pretty important to me. She truly is an amazing person, and in a perfect world, I wouldn't hesitate to make her my wife. But the fact is, I'm too much of a bitch to completely accept her into my life. Well, you know what? You're man enough to admit that you're a bitch. That's a good step, which it is. But I don't really want to hurt her feelings. Her life is already pretty hard because of how she looks. Dude, what? Does she live under a bridge? What is the problem? What should I do? Am I too selfish and vain? Any advice in this matter would be appreciated. Well, the problem is, sir, you've stayed with her long enough that she's starting to get into your heart. You know, she was in your balls first, but then, you know, now she's up in your chest. So, what would you do? Well, you have to make the choice. Look, you either accept her for who she is and you introduce her to people around you, or you get rid of her because you're going to hurt her. You know? That's it. I don't know what the fuck else to tell you. I hope I didn't come off like a dick there, but that's the deal. You got to make the choice. All right?
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast, and I'm just checking in on you. What's going on? How's your week going? Are you having a good time with the people in your life? If you're not, drink some booze. Go down to the pub all by yourself, preferably during the day. There's nothing better than day drinking. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of people think, oh, holding my child, fuck that. Curing a disease, I don't think so. Sitting in a bar during the day. You know, one of those bars where, you know, the sun barely fucking comes in, right? One of those fucking places. Don't mean a gay bar, all right? Let me tell you right now. Now, one of those gay bars where, well, it's accepted now, right? Don't gay bars have, like, fucking ceiling-to-floor windows? Right? We're here. We're queer. We'd like some fucking beer. Isn't that what goes on there? I don't know. I haven't got caught up on Will and Grace. I'm sorry. I'm in a stupid mood. Deal with it! Yeah, day drinking. Day drinking, baby. I always thought the Beatles should have made that instead of day tripper. She was a day drinker, fucking boozing, yeah. It took her so long to get drunk. Now she's drunk. I've been writing all day. We got a table read tomorrow morning, so it's actually Wednesday evening. And I'm doing this in my spotless home. My spotless home. Yeah. Yeah, my wife is on the road again, right? She's out visiting some fucking friends or whatever. Or having an affair. I don't know. I can't keep tabs on her. I only have an iPhone 6, you know? If I had one of those phones that they already have in Japan, I could probably watch her from a satellite and then text her. You know, while I played that creepy Sting song. Or I guess it's the Police, right? I'll be watching you. I remember when that song came out, they said, you know, that song actually makes men beat women. It's like, no, I would say a poor childhood would probably be bigger than Sting's fucking song. You know, that was back when you really could try to blame musicians for your own bad parenting. You know what I mean? Oh, there was devil in the music and you play it backwards and you sucked as a mother.
Well, and then this song here reminds him of this, and Dad, you smoked when it was in the womb. Just shut up already. Remember that? Tipper Gore and all of them slapping those stickers all over the place, right? Meanwhile, they're all in the Illuminati, dressing up like pheasants, sticking their fucking fists in each other's asses. Oh, that's what goes down. That's what happens. That's the kind of thing that CNN and Fox News are too afraid to talk about. That's why they're always going after fucking comedians if we do a Bruce Jenner joke. It's just a big misdirection because they really don't want to know or let the regular people know how much fisting is going on at the upper 1% of wealth. But I'll get to that later. Vasectomy. Dear Bill, I don't want to get a vasectomy. I just don't. My wife and anyone else who chimes in on the subject started trying to break down positives and point out the lack of negatives. Ever just not want something? I just don't want one. Can you believe this? Or are you with everyone else that it must be rooted in some fear, etc.? Fuck that. Dude, fuck that. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you think you could fucking tell a woman what the fuck to do with her body for 2 seconds before she just said you're a chauvinistic cunt? Yeah. Dude, fuck that. Fuck that all day long. That's your fucking dick and balls. All right? Not that they fuck with your dick. If you don't fucking want them to go in there and snip, whatever the fuck. I've even looked up the operation. I still don't get it. I don't get it. Nothing comes out. So does it stop your ability to make jizz? Do they put an udder down there where you got to milk the jizz out? Oh, that's disgusting. I don't get what happens, but fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Just sit down with your wife and say, listen, I don't want to do that. And she'll be like, why? Why not? You're just fear-based. It's like, no, it isn't. I don't want to be walking around and dude, you know what that's like? You're like a muscle car, and they want to rip the engine out and put a fucking V6 in there. Fuck you. And keep your Shelby badge on the side of your car, and every day in the morning you wake up standing there looking at yourself after you got out of the shower knowing that it's a lie. Fuck that, dude. Fuck, you keep the bullets in that gun. All right? She can't handle it, you know? What is she going to do to you? Huh? She going to hold you down and make while someone else does it? You don't want one. Dude, you don't want one to the level you're reaching out to a fucking podcast. Okay? Do you understand? I would even use that in your argument. Just be like, but don't play this audio, though. I would just say, listen, I so do not want to do this that I actually wrote into a podcast to get advice. That's how much I don't want to do this. And then she'll just be like, well, maybe we need to go talk to somebody about it, which means she's going to set up an appointment with somebody who agrees with her. All right? Because she's going to set up the appointment going, listen, my husband needs to get a vasectomy. He's very nervous. He says he doesn't want to get it, but it's going to be the best for us. And she's going to totally set the fucking table. It's like those dumb fucks that go on Dr. Phil. You ever see those sad sacks that go on that fucking show with their wife like they have a fucking prayer? Dr. Phil's audience is women. So he's going to have to side with the woman every fucking time. Even if he, he's going to try to, hide his hand and give her a little bit of shit. But at the end of the day, he's going to be looking at you go, you need to get your balls snipped. Right? He's going to come at you like that while he sits there, with his junk still fucking working. He's got a giant fucking unit. Doesn't he? That big fucking goof, that big bald goof walking down the hall. He's got a fucking giant fucking unit. Big Great Dane balls. I don't know why. I think he's got a fucking giant unit. He does. He's just like the way he talks. God always gives them big dicks. I don't know what it is. with this giant size 16 brown wooden wingtips just sitting across from you. This got to be the worst fucking show ever to be on. Oh, my God. I never thought about Dr. Phil's junk before. You see that? It takes somebody to fucking bring up a vasectomy. You'll never be able to think about him again. Me and my big dick say you need to listen to your wife. All right, drum workout. Hey, Sir Billiam. Big fan of the podcast and thought I'd share this with you because I know how much you love drums and talking about working out. Recently I don't know how I missed out on Pantera. I just, I could never get into that fucking type of singing. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus Christ, I heard this in my house growing up. Music used to take me away from this shit, but just undeniably, Vinnie Paul is one of the great rock drummers of all time, without a fucking doubt. And I don't think he gets the credit. I was talking to my drum teacher about this, where he's a lot like Alex Van Halen, who's another one of the great drummers of all time. But both of them, like Alex never got his due, I feel, because of Eddie. Eddie was just so fucking insane that everybody focused on him and they didn't really even notice how great Alex was. And I feel like Pantera is the same thing. It's kind of creepy how, like, they both have brothers, like, that were innovative, Dimebag. The guy was just, there was nobody like either one of those guitar players. In fact, and then you know what else is fucked, to bring it full circle, is unfortunately when Dimebag was murdered, I always heard that Eddie donated one of his, he loved Eddie Van Halen, and Eddie donated one of his guitars. I think it was that black and yellow one, and they actually buried it with Dimebag. So, I don't know, it's kind of a morbid way to go around to say that Vinnie Paul's a fucking amazing drummer. But I started listening to that song, I'm Broken, and, it's fucking killing me that I can't just sit down and try to figure that fucking song out, because I got to sit in this fucking writer's room. I'm really whining about the writer's room. Because I'm used to just fucking having my days to myself to just sit around, staring at my dry MeUndies balls. All right, drum workout. So this new workout where you pretend to play the drums, which is currently available in the LA area. See the video link. Wanted to hear your thoughts, comment on these modern gym classes these days. Time to start soundproofing that garage gym. Thanks for the laughs and go fuck yourself. Well, I don't understand, like, Guitar Hero, or even, I haven't even looked at this fucking workout class. Like, why wouldn't you just learn how to play drums? Oh, they're not pretending to play drums. They have sticks. Oh, God. Is this going to be white people trying to be tribal? Oh, yeah, it's sort of aerobics. And they're just playing beats with sticks and stuff. Oh my God, this is giving me douche chills. They're like, oh God, and it always has to be the person wearing the hat inside, the knitted hat. Just when you thought that awful look went away, the guy with the fucking skinny jeans, the t-shirt, and then, like, I'm going to have a snowball fight hat on. Pretending to play the drums is now a hot new workout. Well, they weren't really pretending. They were actually hitting the floor with them and stuff and hitting the sticks. Somebody said there is already a dance form in India called Danya, which has the same concept of dancing with sticks in 1,000+ years old tradition. Oh, what a surprise. What a surprise. Did somebody already come up with that? Look, if that gets people in shape, it actually kind of looks like fun, but my ears couldn't handle it. I'd have to have fucking earplugs in. I don't know, but everyone was making those Guitar Hero rocking out faces. But what would be cool is if that actually, if you're taking one of those classes and you actually want to learn how to play drums, but, you can't really play because you have an apartment, I cannot recommend those Roland V drums enough. They're fucking amazing. And I told you, when I had two of those kits when I was in New York. It's kind of weird because it's like a computer. Like, it gets old and then the new one's better. And then you're like, because, if it was an acoustic, like a regular drum kit, you just keep it. Drums are fucking drums, but they get the new brains and they're better. And I don't know. You just keep, I don't know. It's a lot of fucking money, but they're fucking awesome. So if you lived like the way I did, where I had a neighbor underneath me, I went downstairs and I knocked on the guy's door and I said, listen, I practice drums. When do you work? I'll only practice during those hours. If you're ever home when I'm practicing, here's my phone number. Call me the second I pick up. You tell me to stop, I will immediately stop. And we actually still had a problem because the first time he heard me playing, I said hello, and he goes, "Can you knock it off?" And I just fucking snapped on the guy. I was like, dude, don't fucking say that like you asked me 12 fucking times and did all that shit, and then he never called me again. Fucking dickhead. Although, in defense of him, I can't imagine what that sounded like underneath. Jesus, I'm just retracting every fucking statement.